There comes a moment in life when each of us needs to stop and reflect on who we really are and who God is to us. We live in a world where millions of people feel lonely, even when surrounded by others. We feel that no one truly understands us, that our struggles are invisible, and that our dreams don't matter to anyone. But there is a powerful truth that can completely transform this perspective. There is a God who sees all things, who knows every detail of your life, and who never takes his eyes off you. Psalm 139 is one of the most profound and moving passages in the entire Bible. Written by King David, this psalm reveals an extraordinary understanding of the nature of God and how he relates to us. It is not just a beautiful text to be recited in moments of devotion. It is a revelation that can shake the foundations of your faith and transform the way you see yourself and the Creator. When David begins by saying, "Lord, you search me and you know me," he is making a revolutionary statement. Think about the real meaning of these words. God doesn't just know your name or a few facts about your life. He searches you. The word search in the original Hebrew carries the idea of investigating thoroughly, of knowing deeply, of examining every layer. It's as if God has full access to your internal hard drive, knowing not only your actions but also your motivations, your secret fears, and your deepest desires. Many people are afraid of this idea. They think, if God really knows me that well, he must be disappointed in me. He must see all my failures, all my mistakes, all the thoughts I'm ashamed to admit. But here's the surprising part. David isn't writing this psalm out of fear or shame. He writes with awe, with reverence, with a deep sense of relief. Because there is something liberating about being completely known by someone who loves you unconditionally. Think about your human relationships. How many masks do you wear throughout the day? With how many people can you truly be yourself, without filters, without fear of judgment? Probably very few, maybe none. We live constantly trying to manage the impression we make on others, hiding our vulnerabilities, presenting edited versions of ourselves. It's exhausting. But with God, all those masks fall away. He already sees through them anyway. David continues, "You know when I sit and when I rise, you understand my thoughts from afar." This means there isn't a single moment when you are off God's radar. When you wake up in the morning, still sleepy and confused, God is there. When you sit down at night, exhausted after a hard day, he is present. When you're stuck in traffic, frustrated. When you're working hard to meet deadlines. When you're enjoying happy moments with your family. In every breath, in every heartbeat, God is aware of you. But it's not just passive awareness. God understands your thoughts. He doesn't just observe, he comprehends. He knows the context, he knows the why. That angry thought that crossed your mind, God knows where it came from. He knows the wound that caused it. That moment of doubt about your faith, he understands the circumstances that led you there. That dream you barely dared to speak aloud, he already knows it and understands its deepest meaning. The psalm goes on to reveal that God knows our ways. "You discern my going out and my lying down. You are familiar with all my ways." That includes the choices you made in the past, the doors you opened and the ones you closed. It includes the crooked paths you took, the detours, the moments when you got lost. And here's something extraordinary. Even knowing all your wrong turns, every time you strayed, God never gave up on you. He remains present, still guiding, still offering chances to start again. There are people who carry guilt for years, decades even, because of choices made long ago. They live trapped in cycles of self-condemnation, believing they are defined by their worst moments. But the God who knows all your ways does not define you by your mistakes. He sees the complete picture. He sees who you were meant to be, and he continues working patiently to bring you there. Before a word is on my tongue, you, Lord, know it completely. This is almost unsettling in its intimacy. It means that God knows the words you will speak before you even consciously form them. He knows the prayers you will pray tomorrow. He knows the conversations you will have next week. But more than that, he knows the words you never said, the ones that got stuck in your throat out of fear or doubt. He knows the "I love you" that you didn't have the courage to express. He knows the apologies you've rehearsed 1,000 times but never voiced. He knows the cries of pain you've stifled so you wouldn't bother anyone. Then David makes a declaration that sums up all this divine omniscience. "You hem me in behind and before, and you lay your hand upon me." This creates an image of complete protection. God isn't just watching from afar. He surrounds you completely. He is behind you, guarding your past, redeeming your mistakes. He is before you, preparing your future, opening doors. And his hand is upon you right now in this very moment, guiding, protecting, blessing. Many people live with the feeling that they are alone in their battles. They fight against addictions, against anxiety, against depression, against broken relationships, against financial struggles, and they feel that no one truly understands what they're going through. But the truth of Psalm 139 is that you are never alone. The God who sees all things is fighting battles beside you that you don't even perceive. He is working behind the scenes of your life, moving pieces, opening doors, touching hearts. David then expresses that this knowledge is too wonderful for him. It is beyond his understanding. And isn't it? How is it possible that the creator of the universe, the one who keeps the stars in their orbits and counts the grains of sand on the seashore, has time and attention for you? How is it possible that among billions of people on the planet, he knows your specific thoughts, your private struggles, your unique dreams? The answer lies in the nature of divine love. It's not a love that must be divided or rationed. It's not as if God has a limited amount of attention and you have to compete with others for a portion of it. God's love is infinite, and his ability to know and care for each person individually does not in any way diminish his knowledge and care for you. Then comes one of the most powerful parts of the psalm. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? David begins to explore the omnipresence of God. And notice that he uses the language of fleeing. Why? Because there are moments when we want to hide from God, moments of shame, guilt, and rebellion when we would prefer that God weren't watching. Think of Adam and Eve in the garden, hiding among the trees after they sinned. It's an ancient human instinct. When we do wrong, we want to hide. But David is acknowledging the futility of that attempt. There is no place in heaven or on earth where you can be outside God's presence. If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. That covers the extremes. In the highest moments of life, when everything is going well, when you're on top of the world, God is there. And in the lowest moments, when you feel you've fallen into the deepest abyss, when depression grips you, when the pain is unbearable, when you've lost hope, God is there too. This is crucial to understand. Many people have a distorted theology that says God is only present in good times, that he blesses you when you do everything right but abandons you when you fail. But Psalm 139 completely destroys that idea. God is present both in the heaven and in the hell of your experience. He does not abandon you in the dark valleys. If I rise on the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will guide me, your right hand will hold me fast. The image of the wings of the dawn represents maximum speed, flying as fast as the light of morning spreads. Even if you could move at that impossible speed, to the most remote places on earth, God would still be there. It's not a matter of speed or distance. God's presence transcends physical limitations. And notice the transition. It's not only that God is present in all these places, but that his hand guides and sustains. That's the difference between a God who observes and a God who is involved. He doesn't just watch your life like a movie, he actively participates, guiding your steps and sustaining you when your own strength fails. David then speaks about darkness. If I say, surely the darkness will hide me and the light become night around me, even the darkness will not be dark to you. The night will shine like the day, for darkness is as light to you. What a powerful declaration. There are times in life when the darkness feels impenetrable, times of confusion, mourning, and loss, when everything seems dark and you can't see the way forward. But to God, that darkness shines like daylight. He sees clearly through what blinds you. This means that when you are lost in the dark, God is not. When you can't see the next step, he sees the entire path. When you're confused about which direction to take, he has absolute clarity. And if you allow him, he will be your eyes in the darkness, guiding you step by step until the light returns. Then the psalm takes an even more intimate turn. David begins to speak of being formed in the womb. For you created my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb. Here lies a truth that revolutionizes our understanding of identity and purpose. You are not an accident. You are not a mistake. You are not the result of blind, random forces. You were intentionally created, carefully formed, woven with purpose. The word knit is fascinating. It evokes the image of a skilled craftsman, patiently working on his masterpiece. Every thread matters. Every color was chosen. Every pattern has meaning. In the same way God knit you together. Your talents are not random. Your personality is not an accident. Even the things about yourself that you consider flaws are part of the divine design. Part superior do formulario. Part inferior do formulario. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, I know that full well. David is expressing gratitude for his very existence. When was the last time you thanked God simply for being who you are? Not for what you've achieved or what you possess, but for the person you are at your core. We live in a culture obsessed with self-improvement, constantly telling us we're not good enough, that we need to be more of this or less of that. But Psalm 139 says that you were made fearfully and wonderfully. Yes, you. With all your quirks, your peculiar tastes, your unique passions, your vulnerabilities. You are a marvelous work of God. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Even in the darkness of the womb, where no human eye could see, God was there, overseeing every detail of your formation. Every cell dividing, every organ developing, every neural connection forming, all under the watchful eye of the Creator. And then comes one of the most astonishing declarations. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. This means that before you were born, before you took your first breath, God had already seen your entire life. He already knew every day you would live, every challenge you'd face, every victory you'd win, every tear you'd shed, every joy you'd experience. Some interpret this as rigid predestination, as if we have no choice. But it can also be understood differently. God, existing outside of time, sees your whole life at once. He knows the choices you will make, not because He forces them, but because He sees the future as clearly as He sees the past. And still, knowing everything, He chose to create you. He chose to love you. He chose to have a relationship with you. David then exclaims, "How precious to me are your thoughts, God! How vast is the sum of them! Were I to count them, they would outnumber the grains of sand. When I awake, I am still with you." Imagine that God has thoughts about you. Not just one or two occasional thoughts, but thoughts that outnumber the grains of sand. Billions and billions of them. Each one precious. What kind of thoughts are these? Thoughts of love, of hope, of plans for your good. Thoughts about how to bless you, how to protect you, how to guide you. Thoughts about your potential, about the person you can become. Thoughts about how to redeem your mistakes and turn your pain into purpose. While you spend your days often doubting yourself and worrying about what others think, God is constantly thinking about you with love, with hope, with delight. As your Creator, He rejoices over you just as an artist delights in their masterpiece. The psalm ends with David making a surprising request. "Search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me and lead me in the way everlasting." Wait a moment, the entire psalm has been about how God already knows everything about him. So why does he ask God to search him? Because there's a difference between God knowing you and you consciously allowing Him to examine your life. It's an invitation. It's you saying, "God, I know you see everything, but I choose to open my heart voluntarily. I choose not to hide anything. I choose total transparency." And then David makes a courageous request, "See if there is any wicked way in me." He is asking God to point out his mistakes, his problem areas, his crooked paths. That requires tremendous humility. It's much easier to live in denial, justifying our mistakes, blaming circumstances or other people. But real growth only happens when we have the courage to ask God to show us the truth about ourselves. And then crucially, David asks, "Lead me in the way everlasting." He's not just asking for correction, he's asking for direction. It's not enough to know what's wrong, we need to know what's right. And God, who sees all things and knows every possible path, is perfectly qualified to guide us. So what do we do with all this? How do we apply the truth of Psalm 139 to our lives today? First, we need to live with the constant awareness that we are completely known. This should free us from the need to impress others or wear masks. If the God of the universe knows you completely and still loves you, then anyone else's opinion loses its power over you. Second, we need to rest in God's constant presence. In moments of loneliness, remember, you are not alone. In moments of struggle, remember, God is fighting with you. In moments of darkness, remember, to Him darkness is as light. This doesn't automatically remove pain, but it provides an anchor of hope. Third, we must embrace our identity as intentional creations of God. Stop comparing yourself to others. You weren't made to be someone else. You were made to be you with your unique design and specific purpose. The things about you that society might reject could be the very instruments God wants to use to fulfill His purposes through you. Fourth, we need to live with confidence about the future. If God knew all your days before you were born, then nothing that happens in your life takes Him by surprise. He has already seen your worst days and prepared enough grace to carry you through them. He has already seen your best days and is orchestrating them as you walk in obedience. Pray Psalm 139 now. Don't just read the words, let them sink deep into your soul. Allow the truth of being completely known and completely loved to transform your perspective. Invite God to search your heart, not with fear but with expectation for what He will reveal and heal. The God who sees all things is looking at you right now, not with judgment but with love. He sees not only who you are but who you are becoming. And He is committed to guiding you along the everlasting way, step by step, day by day, until you reach the glorious destination He prepared for you from the very beginning.